see how it's pain inside her eyes. He had come and gone away and left the love to yesterday. Now her only joy's the tears she cried. She said, where did I go wrong? And how can I go on? Say, where did I go wrong? And how can I go on? He was proud to pay his bills until one day when he fell ill. The doctor took too long to make it right. He lost his job and all he owned, his car, his house, his precious throne, all his status symbols of his life. He said, where did I go wrong? And how can I go on? He didn't feel like a man, so I took his hand and told him, season change will rearrange. You gotta give it time. Season change will rearrange. You gotta give it time. If you will find a place for peace of mind. Look at you will find a place for peace of mind. The wind can always blow the path of bitter clouds a million miles. Meanwhile, your road to light just stays the same. If you continue praying, manifest all that you're saying, then the world will stop to be all that you need. And know that season change will rearrange. You gotta give it time. Season change will rearrange. You gotta give it time. Look and you will find a place for peace of mind. Look and you will find a place for peace of mind. A place for peace of
Peace and love, Black family. In my Baltimore accent and words, we say, what it do? That's what we say in Baltimore, what it do? So what it do, Baba? Peace and love to you. How you feeling today, Baba?
What it do, Dr. Maat? How you feeling?
I'm feeling all right, Baba. How about yourself?
Hey, I'm good. You know, I'm here. We up, another opportunity to get out here and educate, another opportunity to get out here and fight for the mental, spiritual, and physical liberation of our people. I'm good.
Ashe, Baba. And so you see the title, family, you know, and I do see you all are coming in. And as you come in, thumb up the video, family. As you come in, thumb up the video. Also share the video, family. We want to each one teach one in an age of information, right? An age of 2020. I'm sorry, in the age of technology, not even information, but in the age of technology. Each one teach one. All you got to do is just share, right? Like a stroke of a button. So just share this discussion on your social media pages. And also, family, tweet the link out to your family members and to your friends. Let's get some more bodies in here. And you see the title today, Bob and I are going to be talking about some things that have transpired in our community over the past couple of days. From an African centered perspective, I've always says, let's keep that in mind, from ACP, an African centered perspective. And so today I wake up, Baba, and one of my good friends, shout out to DJ King Freeman, shout out to that brother. He's responsible for making a lot of the Baltimore club music in the 90s. You know what I mean? And so he was really, really big in the 90s. And I'm proud to know, I'm proud to say that's my big bro. He taught me a lot of things, had his own music label, still has his own music label, and doing some marvelous things. Matter of fact, he's leading a movement right now called Hip Hop Ain't Dead. And so if you go to YouTube and type in Hip Hop Ain't Dead, it will take you to DJ King Freeman's platform, and his platform is growing exponentially, and he puts out like every week he's putting out like hip hop mixtapes that you can just listen to on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop ain't dead. So shout out to King Freeman. And so anyway, I'm laying in bed, Baba, this morning. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the first thing I do typically is I grab my phone. You know, you lay there, you're not ready to get out of bed yet, Baba. So the TV's off. I'm laying in bed. I'm up, but I'm not up. And so I grab my phone and I check like my text messages. I check to see if I have missed calls, and I respond to those. And then after that, I get online. So I hopped online, go to Instagram, only to see a post of him, because he used to live in the Brooklyn. I don't know if he's still there, but he used to live in Brooklyn, which is in the south part of Baltimore. And he had a post up, and he was like, you know, he's like, if you all have family, you know, in Brooklyn. And we're not talking about Brooklyn, New York family. We're talking about Baltimore, south part of Baltimore. So he said, if you have family, you know, in Brooklyn, you know, south Baltimore, he said, you may want to check on them because it was a mass shooting. Then he said, P.S. I hate you ninjas. And so I'm like, what? Like, you know, so then I started, Baba, you know, Googling stuff. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And then another one of my best friends, she inboxed me a reel. She's down in Atlanta, Georgia. She's based there now. But she sent me a reel showing me, you know, it was people who was recording like from their doors. They were recording the shooting. And so in this particular reel, you know, you hear a girl, you know, kind of laughing like, oh my goodness, they're shooting. Oh my God, she got shot in the butt. And people are, you see people running, and like, it's like a 90-second reel. I watched like 20 seconds, Baba, and then I turned it off. Right. Because it does something to me. You know what I mean? And so I watched about 20 to 30 seconds, and then I just clicked off of it. But, you know, people were running like hysterically, as you can imagine. People were running, and then you had some people like laughing and like, oh my goodness. And, you know, I'm like, were they laughing out of nervousness, out of fear? Because, you know, some people will laugh in uncomfortable situations. So was it that? Or were you just that mentally ill that you thought this type of stuff was funny? I think it's a combination of all three. And so that's what I woke up to, Baba. And so I do want to play a clip, because they did say there were multiple fatalities. And so I do want to play the clip. And then, Baba, we can build on that, you know, violence in our community, because I mean, this ain't new. Like, this happens in Chicago, you know, it happens in a lot of our communities, the violence. And so anyway, here we go. This is Good Morning America. And this is what they are saying right now, family. Let me go here, share, bam. Here we go, family.
Shooting in Baltimore, Maryland.
Yeah, yet another shooting. Multiple deaths reported with dozens of people injured. A large police and emergency medical response at the scene, as you can imagine. ABC's Ike Ajachi is in Baltimore right now. Ike, good morning.
Good morning. It's a tragic start to the 4th of July weekend here in Baltimore. 2 people dead and 28 others injured from this shooting. All this as law enforcement officials were already on high alert for that typical surge of violence that we see on holiday weekends.
I got one chest wound in and out both sides. Need a medic.
Overnight, chaos in Baltimore after a mass shooting that left 2 dead and 28 injured.
For the record, we don't have control of the scene. We don't have control of the scene.
Gunfire erupting as hundreds gathered for an event in the neighborhood of Brooklyn Homes. Witnesses saying they heard as many as 30 shots, according to local affiliates. Police say an 18-year-old woman was pronounced dead at the scene.
I need somebody down here, okay?
9 people transported to the hospital, 20 more went to the hospital on their own. 1 man was later pronounced dead, and 3 victims are still in critical condition.
This is an extensive crime scene. Our detectives are going to be here quite a while.
Authorities have not released information about a suspect or a possible motive.
And we're going to be here until we find them, until we hold them accountable, until they are held accountable for the actions that they took, because we cannot rest until they do so.
Now, law enforcement officials say they'll be on scene here for a while investigating this massive crime scene. And as of now, no word on any suspect or a possible motive. Back to you guys.
All right, Ike Ajachi at the scene of yet another mass shooting. Ike, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC.
All right, Baba. And, you know, I was before, you know, we went live and I was getting ready to just go off. And I was like, Baba, let's just go live and I could get it off my chest. But Baba, when I saw this, I thought to myself, you know, our oppressors have done a number on our minds. Typically, when you hear about mass shootings, we think it's white folks. You know, the first thing we say, you know, that's the white boys. You see what I'm saying, Bob? That's the white boys. You get what I'm saying? Like that's what white people do. You know what I mean? That's Dylan Roof type stuff. You get what I'm saying? I forgot the name of some of them other devils, but you know, that's what they do. That ain't what we do. We don't do mass shootings. That's not us, right? I mean, even though back in the day they did do drive-by shootings and that did happen, but you know, stuff like this, Bob, or just drive-by shooting, somebody was targeted. Something happened. You get what I'm saying, Bob? It wasn't just nobody just shooting randomly into a crowd. You know, that's for white folks. That's what we used to say. But I remember saying this when I was down in Columbia, South Carolina with you at the Juneteenth Festival. I said, we've been under their domination for so long that we have become them. I said, you know, back in the day when we used to watch TV and someone did something, they didn't even have to show us whether the person was black or white. We knew by the crime what the person did. You get what I'm saying? If it was pedophilia, if it was mass shootings or something like that, we like, that's that white boy stuff. White folks doing that stuff. Now, when you watch television, you know, you sitting there thinking, damn, is that us again? Or is that them? Like, who is it? Because we have adopted their psychopathologies, Baba. You know, we adopted their psychopathologies and we have internalized their racism, Baba. You know, so much so that we don't see the divinity in each other anymore. You know what I'm saying? When I look at you, I'm not saying that I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying us as collectively, you know, we walk down the street, we don't see the divinity in each other. I'm not looking at you as a god or a goddess or a king or a queen. You understand? We looking at each other as an enemy. So we not only have adopted their psychopathologies, Baba, we have internalized their racism so much so that we kill each other, Baba. We kill each other. Senseless murders happen in the Black community day in and day out. And I'm just tired. Baba, when I say I'm so tired, I'm so tired. I lost one of my students to senseless violence in December. That broke my heart. And I'll find that, you know, clip as you're talking. Baba, what's your thoughts when you watch that whole thing, when you heard about it? What are you thinking, Baba? What's going through your mind?
You know, violence begets violence, often begets violence. Abuse often begets abuse, and oftentimes the abused become the abusers, and an exploited community becomes a community of exploiters. It's American culture. You know, everybody gets shot in America. Every community picks up the gun. There's no nonviolent community in the United States. There's never been nonviolent white communities in the United States. You know, white people that promote this culture promotes gun violence from day one. It was built on gun violence. Your enslavement was maintained with gun violence. You were under Jim Crow. They maintained Jim Crow with gun violence. They stole Black land with gun violence. They fought the civil rights movement with gun violence. Our favorite heroes in our movies, what do they use to save the day? Gun violence, right? And it's a steady theme in American culture, and we are Americanized. And so it may take a different form. It's going to take a different look because it's cultural. When you add the cultural element, because it's us, it's African American culture or Black American culture. You know what I'm saying? It looks like it's unique, but the only thing unique about it is that it's wrapped in Black culture, but it's the same American violence that this country believes in, makes money, as capitalizes on, and that we're taught from day one. Violence is as American as apple pie. It simply is. And one of the beautiful things about Black people over the years and over the centuries that's helped us to survive America is continuing to reject certain aspects of American culture that just don't vibe with us. Right? And we used to make that distinction that they're into that, but that's not our culture. And as we integrate and as we get more into ignoring who we are, reducing ourselves to colors and ignoring our culture, our four ways and our more ways, we start picking up other ways in other characteristics and it plays out like this in scenarios like this. And I want to say, I want to send my respects though to the family of those who lost their lives and our prayers for those who are still fighting for their lives. From what I read, there are a few that are in critical condition that are still fighting for their lives today. And it'll be interesting to see, what the story is. Usually when we go at each other, it's something personal, unlike the little white boy that went into the store in Buffalo because he think Black people are taking over and that sort of thing. Usually with us, it's a personal thing, but it gets out of hand because bullets don't have names on them. And maybe somebody used a high-powered rifle and couldn't control what they do, because it ain't like a lot of these cats that's walking around with these guns are getting trained in them, and how to use them. So it's just a dangerous mix and a horrible mentality that we're dealing with right now. We have been Americanized, and the more Americanized we become, hating Black people is as American as apple pie too. And the more Americanized we become, the more we don't want to be what God has made us to be. The more we want to get away from it, the more we don't want to be like that, the more we want to ostracize ourselves from our communities, move away from our communities, the whole 9 yards. You know what I'm saying? The most horrible things I hear said about Black people come out of the mouths of other Black people. Everything that they learn about us, we learn about us too. And you have to have an element in our community that's strong, that fights against that. So when I see things like this, I'm always wondering, where is that element? We got to get stronger. Those of us who are out here that are teaching us about how to see our divinity, that are debunking the lies, that are fighting that psychosis that our people are picking up, we have to get stronger. And anybody watching this video, if you're not supporting your local Black bookstores, your local Black movements, if you're not putting murals up that show powerful images of Black people and making sure your babies learn our story, you know what I'm saying? How are we going to fight this psychosis? You know what I'm saying? Because the enemy already got a plan. They created the problem because the solution is slavery and genocide. So they already have a plan. So if we don't do nothing, they got a prison cell for the one who did it. And the ones who get hurt, they in the grave. Yes.
Bob, I'm over here. I had to put myself on mute while you were talking because everything like, go ahead, Baba, teach.
Yeah,
Say it, Baba.
And so they already have a solution to the problem. They want to justify mass genocide in the Black community. I'm fearing that we're gonna come up on a day to where they're gonna say, you know what, they're just some human beings that don't need to be here, just like roaches. I know some people that love nature but hate roaches. You know what I'm saying? Like don't kill that caterpillar. It has a use in nature. Don't kill that butterfly, but stomp on that roach. And a lot of people consider us the roaches of humanity. And they'll highlight incidents like this, right? And to put that toxic shame on Black people, well, we'll start internalizing that, right? And that's a very dangerous thing, Dr. Maya. It's very dangerous for us to internalize these attitudes towards self and treating our violence like it's some sort of distinct character trait of Black people rather than a key cog in American culture, not just Black culture, American culture. We are not the most violent. But the fact that we abhor the violence so much says something about our nature, you know, because other groups kill each other and just move on. We kill each other and we like, why are we doing this? Like, we really have a problem with it. And that's encouraging to me that that there's still enough of us that have a problem with it. Because other groups are like, yeah, you know, it's mass shooting, guy killed his whole family over there. Yeah, real tragic. All right, y'all going fishing Sunday? And there are no documentaries. Why are white men killing each other? Why are white men killing their families? There are no documentaries. There's no such thing. We don't say white on white crime. We
Come
don't
on,
say
Baba.
white on white violence.
Come
Mexican on Mexican crime. Look, they all kill each other.
Come on, Baba.
They all have criminal elements that are very violent.
But Baba, that
characterize the whole group.
Right, we don't, Baba, and like you said, that just speaks to the nature. You see what I'm saying of who we are. You know what I mean? Who we are at the core. I was just looking at a quote that Baba Baruti put up that Dr. Khalid Muhammad said, and he said, you know, Black people are righteous by nature. You know what I mean? Righteous by nature, and so you know, it just speaks to who we are, the essence of who we are, and we're not those people. You know, we're not those people. You know, we've been because of our conditioning reduced. You see what I'm saying? Not even all of us, right? I'm not saying an element of us have been reduced. You get what I'm saying to savagery, and we have. And so anyway, when I woke up this morning and I saw what happened about the Baltimore mass shooting, my mind went back to December, you know, when I opened my phone up and found out that one of my former students, Jaleel George, was murdered. It took me back there, Baba. And so that's why I know people are listening to me right now and say, she sounds heavy. Yeah, I am heavy right now. My spirit is heavy right now, right? Because now you have these people who were shot and some died. They have families, they have children, they have people who care about him. They're connected to families and communities. They took someone's child. She was 18. My mind went back to my student, Jaleel George, right? And I'm going to play a clip, family. I'm going to play a clip from the news. So you say, well, what is Doc talking about? This is what I'm talking about. And there is a reward out. And I said this at the rally, that I won't rest until we find out what happened to Jaleel. And Baba, when I say I meant that, as sure as my name is Deanna Bailey, Dr.maat, Dr. Bailey, we're not going to rest until we find out what happened to Jaleel. We're not going to rest. And the family has issued a $27,000 reward. And when I spoke to his mother some time ago, she said she looks forward to the day where she can read a impact statement in court. She said she's looking forward to that day. And family, I want you all to help make it happen. I had to tell my girls at the camp, because they were talking about no snitching. I said, check this out. I don't believe in that crap. Y'all talking that stuff, no snitching. I said, but if something happened to one of your loved ones, your mother, your father, your grandmother, your grandfather, you know, I know everybody got these rules when you can tell and when you can't tell. If you're in the criminal world and you break law, you can't tell. But if you did all these rules, if something happened to your loved one, you would want someone to say something, right? And all of them at me say, yeah. Or do you want somebody to say, no, I live by the code, all right? And then your loved one is a John Doe. What do you really want? And so anyway, family, I'm going to play the clip and I'm going to show the reward that the family put out. Family, if you know some people in Baltimore, even if you're in Baltimore, let's solve this murder. Let's give this family justice, right? We don't need any more Jaleel Georges, any more mass shootings. They said an 18-year-old woman, and I agree with Hotspot Casino, she was a child that died last night. She was a child.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm going to play the clip, family, so you all know what I'm talking about here, because some people aren't familiar with the case. And then I'm going to show the award that the family put out. He was one of those students that would keep you on your toes.
Wednesday, Dr. Deanna Bailey was one of dozens at a rally for peace in Park Heights. The Morgan State University professor is calling for accountability following the murder of her former student, Jaleel George.
Beautiful, bright, intelligent student, he was a critical thinker, a problem solver.
Bailey says he made her a better professor. After graduating in 2020, George went on to start his own real estate company and recently purchased his first house to fix up and sell. The 24-year-old was visiting the property when he was gunned down.
And so we're all standing here in solidarity to say that we are tired of the senseless violence in our community.
George was a victim in one of 4 separate murders in a matter of 24 hours in the Park Heights area last week. Tendaya family helped Dr. Bailey organize the Rally for Peace in response to the violence as a way to support the families affected and bring hope to the West Baltimore community.
Baltimore City can change and Baltimore City will change, but it's going to be the participation of individuals that believe. So I would say you got to have faith.
People here say they'll continue to fight for justice for Jaleel.
I have nothing negative to say about Jaleel, and so I'm praying that justice is served and that these people are held accountable for what they did to him. They took out a promising young man, and it hurts.
Tonight, event organizers announced that the family of Jaleel George is putting up a $25,000 reward for any information that leads to an arrest. For now, live at Baltimore Police Headquarters, I'm Tommy Clark, WBAL TV 11 News.
And Baba, it's no longer 25,000. The reward is up to 27,000 at this point. And here's the link, guys. It says right here, $27,000 reward offered for information on the shooting death of Jaleel George. All right. And so this was the Crime Stopper. This was the ad that they put out. And, they saying that, he was murdered in the Park Heights area of Baltimore. And so when I woke up this morning, and family, I'm going to drop the link in the chat so that you have it. And so, yeah. And so, Baba, it took me back there. You know what I mean? I'm like, daggone, somebody else, another mother, another father, another grandparent, right? Hell, another child is murdered, is burying their loved one, and so my heart goes out to, all of the families that were impacted by last night's shooting. And so, Baba, I agree with you. This isn't just Black culture, it's American culture. And as you said, the more American that we become, the more we hate ourselves. Because to be American is really to be white, and it's to adopt whiteness. And we know with whiteness, we know whiteness. We know that Blackness is antithetical, right, to whiteness. We know that. And so anyway, we have that self-hatred, that we deal with, that internal racism that we deal with. Anytime you can pull a trigger on someone who looks like you and take their lives and think nothing of it, Baba. So that's why I wanted to wear my bird today. You always rock my Sankofa bird.
You
Baba.
already know.
You already. But we gotta Sankofa family. We gotta Sankofa. We gotta separate from this damn culture, separate from these people, and Sankofa, Baba. You see what I'm saying? Sankofa. Yes. I'm talking about in our minds, in our hearts, in our spirits, Baba. We have to Sankofa. What did you want to say, Baba?
Learning from my past in order to build a more powerful future. Violence is the result of a lack of ability to resolve a conflict. Right. And we have to get to the root causes. We like I don't go to stop the violence rallies if we're not going to talk about stopping the poverty, if we're not going to talk about keeping the families together, if we're not going to talk about starting the mental health and really dealing with the psychological pathologies that are going on in our community. We're not going to dig deep. If we're just going to stop at, they got these guns, we get the guns out their hands and tell them to stop shooting. What built that shooter?
Right.
What built that shooter? What are the conditions that shape and build that shooter? And we have to make sure that we're dealing with those conditions. And it goes back to community ownership. We're not owning the businesses inside of the community. If you're a merchant inside of community, you hear everything. You hear and you see everything. If you're there.
That's a fact, Baba.
Right? If you're a merchant inside of a community, you hear what's going on. You could give extra money to this program over here. You could be an advocate over there. You could do that. We are seeing the results of what happens when you have a people who come up, and for a couple of generations, the goal is to get out and get away from each other. To get out, get away from the community, go somewhere else. right? And don't turn this, don't see the value in where you are, right?
Mm.
And it's been devalued. So now you have a community that's economically controlled by people who don't live in the community.
Come on.
Right?
Come on.
It's politically controlled by people who don't really live in the community, because that politician that you put on city council, I guarantee you the biggest check they got in their campaign didn't come from you.
Mm.
And that's who they're beholden to, right? And so now no one's really deep diving to deal with the issues that are going on inside of the community with families, with young people. What's really happening? Where are the jobs? Where are the opportunities? Where is the training? Where's the family counseling? Who's helping to keep these marriages together? I get messages often from black couples, in working class black couples that are in the community saying, man, we're just trying to stay married. Can you counsel us? Can you help us? We're trying to stay. It is hard to keep our family together, dealing with money issues, dealing with things that are going on that's a lot that's outside of a working class family's control. There are mental ramifications that come with that kind of stress.
Absolutely.
So it's a fight. It's a community fight. And if we're going to really fight for our communities, then we need to stand up and really do it. I see a brother in the chat saying, some people ain't going to snitch because they are not going to tell because they're afraid that they're going to get hurt. And you know what? That's a legitimate fear in a lot of cases, not in every case. But that's a legitimate fear in a lot of cases, but not every case. But that's also saying we feel powerless to do anything about this. We feel powerless. And there's a whole list of things that you can list that the Black community feels powerless to change.
Absolutely.
And if we don't get rid of that sense of powerlessness, we're gonna be in trouble.
Something
in trouble. Yes.
And listening to you, I hear Dr. Amos Wilson all day. You see what I'm saying? Like when he talked about, us having a self-defeating mentality and powerlessness, and and how we have to rid ourselves of that and understand what power is and how to get it. And I mean, Baba, you on point. Baba, you on point. All I hear is that. But Baba, I do want to change gears and talk about the twerking, switch gears and talk about the twerking at Elmina. So family, a video went viral. Right now, family, before I even show this, thumb up the video. Thumb up the video. You know the way the YouTube algorithm works. The more you engage a video, so that means you like it, you comment under it, the more it begins to circulate on YouTube. Let's thumb up the video right now. Also, family, share this video. We want to each one teach one. And right now in the technology age, each one teach one consists of you just clicking a button, right? So let's share this stream on all of your social media platforms. Also, take the link, text the link out to your family and friends. Let's get about 30 more people in the building. I remember last time we talked, Baba, we had 100 people in the building. You get what I'm saying, Baba? Every time you and I start building, we get more and more. Family, text this link out to your family members. I know you all have group chats with your family. I know I do. Put it in the group chat. Tune into this, right? And also, family, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, head on over, subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell so that whenever I go live, you will be notified. Also, subscribe to Baba Amin's YouTube channel, the Uhuru Academy. Go on over there, subscribe to the Uhuru Academy YouTube channel because he has some interesting discussions. I love when he brings on his wife. Shout out to his divine compliment, Mama and Koyo. They come on, he say, she said, and they go back and forth and they talk about different things. And it's beautiful to watch the exchange between the two of them. And I had the pleasure, the honor of seeing them and meeting them in person. And when I say family, they're just like the cutest couple. It's hilarious. I'm telling you, they're like the cutest couple. It's hilarious. So I sat there with them and I just watched it. I said, "Oh, Baba, she on point." Baba didn't have to say, "Baby, I'm thirsty." She just came with the cup in the water, sat it right down to him, made sure he had his lime. She put his lime right there, squeezed a little.
Excellent job. Make sure I have everything I need while not running anything.
I love it. I love it. I love it, Baba. I love it. And I saw
nothing, but I don't want for that neither.
Come on, Baba. I saw it with my own eyes. I remember when she left out. I was like, "Baba, you got a good one." Remember, I said to you, I looked at you. I said, because I was watching and I saw how you didn't have to say, "I'm hungry, I need this." Even when she and I were out with one of your teachers, one of your instructors. What's her name again,
Yeah.
Baba?
Miss Haley.
Miss Haley. We were out with Miss Haley. Shout out to Miss Haley. And we were out eating. And her mind the whole time, she's like, I gotta stop and get these groceries, and pick these groceries up. She got her food together. She's like, I gotta make sure Baba has, like, the whole time. I'm telling you, Mama was like thinking about you and her babies. You know what I mean? Like thinking about your kids. And so she's a phenomenal woman. That's why I said, Baba, you got a good one right there. But anyway, talking about women, let's go here, family. Now look at this. When this went viral, Bob, I said, God daggone. I said, goodness gracious. I don't mind, the sisters twerking and stuff, that's when you look at African dance, people may say that's twerking, you know what I mean? But, you're gyrating, you're moving your body and stuff like that. So I don't have an issue with that, but it's a time and a place for everything, Baba. It's a time and a place. You know how the old folks say, you want to do things in decency and order, right? And this wasn't decent at all. So, family, this was the video that went viral. Okay, and you look at the title, Baba. It says, "Watch African American ladies." They made sure, like, if you go on YouTube and you type, twerking at I thought it was Elmina. They're saying that this was Cape Coast. So I gotta look at it. I gotta look at it a little bit more, because based on this angle, I'm not sure if it was Cape Coast or Elmina. Some people are saying it was Cape Coast. Some people are saying it's Elmina. But they made sure, Baba, that they put African American women. They made sure to say that it ain't us. It's African American women were right at the slave dungeons, twerking. Right. And so, Baba, when I first saw this video, I said, "Damn, sis," you know what I mean? Like I said, I don't mind the twerking. You twerk, we go to club, we have a good time, we dance, we cut up. You get what I'm saying? We do that. Like I get that. But it's a time and a place for everything. Then they shouted out, "We twerking for the ancestors." I said, Lord, sis, no. And see, that's why, Baba, shout out to the sister, Mama Gina of PLM. We're getting ready to put together an Agoji camp for young girls. Okay. So we have the Asafo training camp. I co-founded that with Baba, Imhotep Fatty U. We co-founded that last summer. And I'm proud to say this is our second summer with the Asafo training camp. The Agoji camp will be launched next summer. This August, we're going to map it out, plan it out, and then we're going to launch it next summer. So there'll be an Asafo training camp in Baltimore and an Agoji camp, because our young girls need to understand what it means to be a woman, and understanding that being a woman is not defined by how much or how good you can gyrate your damn hips. Being a woman isn't good, being a woman, right, isn't defined, by the way you shake your hips, the way you shake your butt, your ability to have children. You just want to pop out kids by everybody and allow men to use your vagina like a toilet. Being a woman, Baba, it's not your ability to, oh yeah, I'm out here. What they call, I'm a bad bee. That's what they say. I'm a bad bee. That's the thing, the bad bee frequency, So I'm a bad bee. And what makes you a bad bee? Oh, my hair. Oh, my fake eyelashes. Oh, this BBL, this Brazilian butt lift I got. And my ability to have children, my ability to shake my butt, my ability to go on TV nude and tell the world how many guys I didn't screw. That is not what qualifies a woman.
I say.
And so our young girls need to understand, Baba, what it means to be a woman. And first and foremost, it means being decent, goddammit. It's decency. Understanding what's decency. Taking care of your body, taking care of your mind, guarding your damn womb. Understanding that your womb is a universe, and understanding your abilities, your responsibilities and duties as a womb carrier. Understanding that literally between your legs, you have the portal to this world, the seen world and the unseen world. You have the portal, womb man. Understanding that and your responsibilities as a womb carrier.
Right.
You understand? Taking care of your family, taking care of your husband, taking care of your children, making sure you nurture your husband, making sure you nurture your children, making sure you protect the family, making sure you nurture the children in your community.
That's right.
That's being a woman.
Right.
Making sure you operate with the principles of Ma'at. Making sure you are a keeper of Ma'at. Women are the keepers of culture, Baba.
That's right. That's right.
Understanding that we are the keepers of culture.
That's right.
And
That's
understand
right.
that our culture must be rooted in Ma'at and rooted in the Nguzo Saba. That's what being a woman is about. It's not about shaking your ass. It's not about that.
It's not.
So I was so disgusted when I saw these women, so-called, because every female is not a woman. You have some adult females. So these adult females shaking at a place, Baba, I mean, where our ancestors were held before we were transported to different places around the world and worked from Kansi to Kansi. The barracoons, Baba, Cape Coast and Elmina, those dungeons would qualify as barracoons, which is a Spanish word that means barracks, where we were housed, waiting for ships. Sometimes in these barracoons, sometimes in these dungeons, we were laying in our own feces, laying in our own urines. We were raped, we were beat, we were mutilated, we were branded, we were sold. And you go back, here, and this is where you think this is where you twerk? Baba, it was disgusting. What are your thoughts? As a man, Baba, when you watched that, what were your thoughts?
They didn't know where they were. Must have been a horrible tour, because there's no way that you can understand where you are in that moment and do that. You can twerk for your ancestors. You can twerk for your ancestors when you visit the village. You can twerk for the ancestors. If some African dancers are up and they dancing, you get up and dance. You dance with the ancestors and dance for the ancestors too. But that's not the place to do it. Because that wasn't a place we celebrate. That wasn't a celebration time. That wasn't the ancestors' castle.
Come on, Bob.
That castle don't belong to the ancestors. That castle was built by the devil. That castle was built by the invader. That castle was built by those subhumans who came in and subjugated our ancestors.
Come on, Bob.
Right? So you can pay homage to your ancestors at that castle, just not in that form. Not in that. That's where you pray for your ancestors.
Come on,
that's
Baba.
where you make a pledge to your ancestors that you won't forget them. That's what you do there. And so it just showed a lack of understanding of the brevity, the heaviness of the place that they were in. And maybe that defense mechanism jumped up. Maybe I'm trying not to let it hit me like that, because I want to have fun on my trip. So we're trying not to be too heavy. We're going to make it light. So we're going to twerk. But sometimes things need to be heavy.
Come on, Baba.
Sometimes you need to allow yourself to feel that heaviness, to feel that pain. On that very roof where our ancestors were drug up and told that their name was no longer Mbutu, now your name is George, and you branded, and your identity is stolen from you on that roof. In those walls, like you say, where children were held in cages away from their mothers.
Come on. Come on.
Where the men were held in cages, where people who were from different tribes, different nation states, couldn't even speak the same language, or even have been beefing for years, for centuries, right? Are now stuck in the same cage together, realizing, God dog, we got a common enemy that's after all of us. What are we gonna do?
Come on. And this made me think of the movie Sankofa. Do you remember right before they sent her back in time? Remember, it was a woman. She was in front of the dungeons, and she was taking pictures, and it was a photographer out there, and she made, she was making light kind of what our ancestors had went through. And then she got trapped in one of the dungeons, and they took her back in time. They put her ass on the plantation, right? And so then she got to experience what her ancestors experienced. And then at the end, she came. Remember, they were all standing there, and they said, welcome home. Welcome home. But it took her to go through it. Baba, sometimes I wish I could do that with some of our people. Sometimes, Baba, I wish I could grab some of our people and drop them off, on the plantation, drop them off in those dungeons.
Right.
So they can understand the brevity, the seriousness. You see what I'm saying? The seriousness, Baba, of what our ancestors, the severity. That's what I was looking for. I said brevity, seriously. I was looking for that word. Severity, brother, Baba, of what our ancestors went through. Sometimes I want to drop their asses off in the dungeon and just lock them in. You understand? Or drop them off, you know, in the 1800s, in the 1700s. Drop them off, Baba, since a lot of people are so critical of the Panther Party and Dr. Milana Karang and them. Drop their asses off in the 60s and 70s. You understand? Like I told my students, some of you sit here with this attitude. I wouldn't have did that. I wouldn't have did. I said, yes, you would have. You would have fell in line because that was the culture back then. Just like you're falling in line with the culture today. You would have fell in line. Stop it. Oh, they wouldn't have. Them white folks wouldn't have made me put my head down. Yes, they would have.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
they would have. You would have got in line. You would have got in line like everybody else.
It was a lot of us who didn't get in line. It was a lot of us who went and joined the ancestors rather than be enslaved. You always have a choice. You always have a choice, and there's always a consequence to your choice. All right, no problem. When people say that to me, I'm like, you know what? No problem. But somebody in your bloodline did cause you here.
Come on.
Somebody in your bloodline went ahead and got in line cause you here. Somebody in your bloodline went ahead and took that whip, cost you here. Took that trip on that slave ship, cost you here.
Come on.
Someone survived, cost you here.
Because you're here.
You know, and so let's not diminish the choice to survive. Now that we're here, we need to make sure we're honoring those who made it possible for us to be here. Those who endured, you know, so that we could be here today. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, man, the sisters that like you mentioned the movie Sankofa, when they first transported her back in time, before she was on the plantation, she had to go through the dungeon first.
Come on. Yes, she did.
She got branded. Man, she kept screaming, I'm not an African. I'm not an African.
Yeah.
Right. Right. I'm not an African. She didn't know. She didn't know.
She didn't know, Baba.
You know, and we do need to understand that experience. When we learn our story, we don't begin our story in slavery, but we don't skip it either.
Come on, Baba. Family, this is the film we're talking about, Sankofa. And Baba, when did this movie come out? This came out in like the 80s, wasn't it? Like the 80s, early 90s?
Here in the States, it was like the early 90s, because I remember we took rival gang members to see Sankofa. When it had a limited run in theaters and certain theaters. So it was playing in Haile Germa is the filmmaker, and it was playing in certain theaters across the nation in the early 90s. And I remember we took brothers from the hood. We all went and we saw Sankofa together, and then we went on a tour of the South, and we took 10 active Crips, 10 active Bloods with us, and we went on a tour of the South, just learning our story. You know what I'm saying? But to kick off the trip, we went to see Sankofa. You know, and it was the first time any of them had experienced slavery in detail like that. Because Roots will fool you. Movies like Roots will fool you. Roots will say, ooh, that was bad, but at least Fiddler's dancing. At least they could jump in the broom. At least they, you know what I'm saying? But when you look at Sankofa, it's a totally different vibe. It's a totally different vibe. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, family, if you haven't seen Sankofa, definitely check that out. And I would love to sit those sisters down and watch Sankofa with them.
Absolutely. And Baba, what was the name of the brother that created the film? What was his name?
It was Haile Germa.
Haile Germa.
Yeah,
we met this brother. I'm getting ready to show you all here it is. We met him. So we met him. So there's a bookstore in Washington, D.C. called the Sankofa Bookstore. And so I did not know that it was owned by him. And I believe his wife. I want to say it's him and his wife. So I went there. And you know, Baba, whenever I go somewhere, you know who I had with me, right?
Right.
My guys right there with me. And so we had an opportunity to meet the owner. So family, if you haven't watched the movie Sankofa, make sure that you check it out. Make sure that you check it out. Also, family, hold on.
You know, Dr. Maat, as you move on, but we've internalized. We do so many things that are disrespectful within our culture now at home. They probably honestly didn't feel like they were being disrespectful.
Yeah.
Because the bar for disrespect has changed.
Right.
you know.
Right,
And
right.
and
No,
so
no, I'm
it,
with you. I'm
it
with
gets
you,
point, like,
Baba.
I mean, the music, some of the things we say is the culture now. I mean, golly.
But Baba, I love when you bring your perspective because I go hardcore on everybody.
Yeah,
It should
yeah,
have been a bit.
yeah.
You be like, they didn't know. Baba, look, you like they didn't know. They probably thought. Now I'm in there like, that's not decent. Get your, that's me. That's me, Baba. So I
Right.
always say you're like my balance, right? Because you'd be like, hold up, maybe they didn't know, right? You got to give some people some grace. Maybe
Well,
they
I'm
didn't
a
know.
teacher, so I'm always looking for opportunities to teach. I'm like, I'm just saying it's a reflection of an ignorance that many of us are carrying around right now within
Fact.
our culture.
Facts. Baba, let's switch gears. So let's talk
Yes.
about the UACI really quickly before we jump into the BET. I call it the Black Embarrassment Television Awards. And so we'll jump into the Black Embarrassment Television Awards. But first, Baba, let's talk about the
Yes.
UACI Summer STEM Camp.
Hey, UACI Summer STEM Camp 2023. I love that me and Dr. Maat, we definitely gonna get here and talk about what's going on in our community, but we also out here working on solutions. One of those solutions that we have going on right now, family, is the UACI Summer STEM Camp 2023, the Uhuru Academy and Conscious Ingenuity. We have joined forces to create the most powerful camp experience of the summer in the world for Black youth, combining the glory of our past with the promise of our future. The only camp in the world where students are going to come and they're going to learn the African history in STEM, right? They're going to learn our historical contributions to science, technology, engineering, and math, going back to the birth of humanity, to the great inventors and scientists of today, right? And then they're going to get their hands, your hands really don't get dirty in STEM, you know what I'm saying? But they sure going to get their hands involved, engaged in STEM projects. We're going to be sending STEM kits to each one of our students. They're going to be working with a microbit computer. They're going to get a Google Chromebook, and they're going to be learning week 1, cybersecurity, right? The basics of cybersecurity. Week 2, machine learning and how to build neural networks. They're going to be learning some basic coding as well. We may bring in some special guests, and shout out to the CAP Center, one of our platinum sponsors, the Cybersecurity Assurance and Policy Center at Morgan State University, for partnering with us to help make this camp a reality. It's a virtual camp. We're enrolling students all over the United States and abroad. I think we have maybe about 8 slots left. They're going fast. Deadline is tomorrow. We want to get everybody locked in by tomorrow. All right. So definitely you want to go and enroll your students today. You can go to uhuruacademy.com, but it's a 2-week experience, July 10th to July the 21st. All right. Virtual experience. And they're going to have a good time. I've been doing this for over 30 years. We have a Black history curriculum that's second to none. One of my young teachers, Sean Gales, who's in the public schools, been #1 in his district for 2 years in a row because he uses our model. He's going to be teaching as well. Dr. Mayat's going to be in the house, and y'all know she makes engineers for a living. So we're going to have a couple of her students that are going to be teaching on the STEM side as well. So we have actual engineers teaching STEM and experienced African history teachers teaching the history that know how to engage young people and make sure that they learn but have a good time at the same time. Not all of our babies just want to bounce a ball. You know what I'm saying? Let's pass them a book. Let's pass on some knowledge. We need all hands on deck to create positive and effective activities for our babies to be involved in. The UACI Summer STEM Camp is one of those activities. Oh, and they will be plugged into a network of references and connections that are active inside the STEM field. So put your babies that are into STEM, put them in this pipeline right here. Oh, they on their way. What more can I say?
Running my mouth, Baba, talking about, oh, I'm over here running my mouth, Baba, straight on mute. But absolutely, family, make sure that you sign up. And Baba got to add this. The deadline is this week, family. We're going to start sending out the kits this week because the camp starts literally next Monday, right? So we want to send out the kits, and then think about it. The 4th of July is Tuesday. So the mail isn't running. Nothing's happening on Tuesday. So we want to get out the kits no later than Wednesday to ensure that your child has everything he or she needs for the camp on Monday, right? We don't want to be starting and then some students, I don't have my kit yet. we're not going through that. We want to make sure the child has everything. So on Monday, on Monday we could start fresh. Okay. And so family, we got to make sure that make sure you sign your kid up, sign your child up between now and, like I said, the latest is Tuesday, Tuesday, because we're going to be shipping out kits on Wednesday. And so if you want your child to experience this, and as Baba said, that no one's doing this. This is not a common program in our community, right? Where everybody is an expert in his or her field teaching, right? You got typically people have programs, and then people have the right to create programs to teach whatever they want to teach, expose whatever they want as well. But it's not the situation, right? Where again you have educators, African-centered educators who are experts in their field teaching your babies. Okay. So make sure, family, that you sign up. I dropped the link in the chat. So make sure that you sign up today. And Bob, how many slots do we have? I think we have less. I think we have like 6 or 7 slots.
Yeah, we got 6 or 7 slots left. I got to look at it because I think I had 2 more people registered yesterday, right? And so you definitely want to do that, And I know we got family. I want to bring this up too real quick. We got family out there that may not have a young person to enroll, but want to support the camp. You can sponsor a scholarship. We do have young people that are engaged, that are enthusiastic about STEM, but you know how it is financially sometimes, right? So so if you would like to sponsor a scholarship for a young person, you can do that as well. All right. You can do that as well. Just get with me or Dr. Maat, and we'll let you know exactly what to do if you want to do it via the Cash App, or you can actually go sign up and be a sponsor on the site. Your business can be a sponsor. Right. We would love to put your logo on our advertising. We would love to slap you on a t-shirt or a piece of merch and recognize you at our appreciation, our graduation on the last day, and keep you up to date for what's going on. So there are sponsorship opportunities for businesses as well. So and this ain't our last camp. Matter of fact, y'all come on and let's make these camps happen all the time. Every time there's a break, it should be a camp.
That's what I was thinking, Baba. Shout out
Every
to
time there's a fall break.
Yeah, shout out to the Ryan Institute. Jaleel, came up with them. That's what they did. Every break there was, as you stated, Baba, a camp. And Jaleel went through, a lot of those camps with them. So they would have spring break, winter break, summer break, and that's what we had to do. We got to get our babies, Baba, in these camps. And like you said, and families support it. Support it.
Because we're talking about ending the violence, right? This is this is a part of that community investment. A lot of you are like, well, I ain't moving back to the hood. You ain't got to move back to the hood. I'll go in. We'll go in.
Right.
We'll go in. You ain't got to show up.
Right, Baba. We'll go in.
Yeah, stay where you at. Stay where you at. With some of us that was enslaved in the house, the field Negro tell them, hey, you stay in the house because you bringing us food. We don't want you to come out here with us. Just send some food out here, right? So be where you at, right? We're the soldiers. We go in, and we work with our people directly. We'll work with the youth. We'll engage them directly, right? You show that support. You show that support. Black people support Black businesses that support Black people. I promise you.
Absolutely.
I promise you that. When they know you supporting Black people, they know you supporting STEM, your community gonna support you.
Come on.
Just letting you know.
Come on. And that's
a fact. Make that investment.
That's
all right. Yeah. Stop talking about them if you're not willing to invest in them.
Come on, Baba. And like you said, you see me shout out. Shout out the sponsors. So when you become a sponsor, we'll definitely shout you out.
We'll definitely shout you out. We constantly gonna shout. You can't go to hooracademy.com and don't get a link to the Cap Center.
Come on, Baba. Facts.
I put the pop-up when y'all saw it, when she pulled up, the pop-up came right up. That could be your business too.
That's right.
So come on, y'all. Let's step up. We know that there's issues, right? But you don't know that STEM could save lives.
Come on.
You don't think there's a young person out there that if they had this to do, they wouldn't be out doing something else?
Come on, Bobby. That's what I'm pitching to them on was it July the 5th? So that's on Wednesday. That's what I'm pitching. We get this set over here. These kids will be busy building robots and experimenting and having fun. Yeah. They won't be outside, Come on, Baba.
Shout out to the coaches. We got plenty of youth sports leagues out there, but everybody don't play sports.
Right.
And only so many people can make the team. Right. We need other things. We have natural scientists and geniuses in our midst, and we're not cultivating that. You're counting on the public school to do. Public school ain't exposing our children to STEM on the level that other groups are being exposed to STEM. Not even close.
Not even close, Baba. So
Not even close.
And Baba, it was sad when Brother Q Butter, shout out to Q Butter in the Ziax Institute in Brooklyn, New York. He called me. He was trying to, his family, he put together a beautiful science fair, and we do have a video. I'll show the video, at a later date. But he did put out, he put together a science fair in Brooklyn, and during that process, he called me up because he was trying to get, he was trying to involve Black children from all over Brooklyn, New York, right? So he's reaching out to different schools and organizations, and just trying to get, projects, like just trying to get people to come and participate. And he said what he found was a lot of schools didn't have a STEM program. They were like, "What? We don't have a STEM program. What are you talking about? Right? We don't have a STEM program." So a lot of the children who were there were his children, from Ziax Institute, who had their science projects, and these babies did a marvelous job. And so a lot of the participants were students from his own institution, because he reached out to so many different organizations and schools, and they said, "We don't have a STEM program." STEM family, we are undergoing a technological revolution right now. Okay, we're in it. If our babies do not get involved in STEM, you think the Black community is locked out now? Wait until 5 years from now, when robotics, AI, and cybersecurity and machine learning takes over. You think we're locked out of the economy now? Wait till they start closing Chick-fil-A and closing Amazon, not closing Amazon. I'm talking about the warehouses, right? The warehouses, they're going to let people go, and it's going to be robots. Amazon already has robots stocking the shelves. But one day they're going to do away with human labor. Where will that leave our babies if they aren't the producers of the technology? Where will that leave our babies? Burger King announced that they're getting ready to close 400 locations nationwide.
Yeah.
Walmart has already announced that by 2026, all of their stores will be automated. In California, you go to certain places at McDonald's and you order, boop, 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 and your food, after you pay, your food comes down a chute. They're already automating a lot of these fast food places.
Walgreens just closed 400 stores.
You said what?
Walgreens just announced they're closing 450 stores.
See, look at that. So, and then some people say, "Well, I'm just going to Uber." Well, autonomous driving is taking over. So one day you'll be on your app and you'll call an Uber, or you'll buy, you'll order. I won't say buy, but you'll order an Uber, right? And then it'll be an autonomous driving car that's going to pick up and take you to where you need to go. So those jobs will be gone. No more taxi drivers, no more Uber drivers, no more DoorDash folks. So our babies everybody needs to be pushing STEM right now. Okay. Right. Not just for job purposes. STEM also develops critical thinkers, right? And critical thinking helps with decision making, right? That we do in life, right? So it's not just about getting paid, getting money, and being in the economy. That's a huge part, because you want to make sure that you secure your basic physiological needs, food, clothing, and shelter, and protection of your food, clothing, and shelter, right? So you want that first and foremost. But we also, STEM fields help to cultivate critical thinking skills. And critical thinking skills are crucial, right, for decision making that we have to do in our life. So anyway, Bob, let's switch gears. And this is the last topic we'll cover: the Black Embarrassment Television Awards.
Right.
So I was informed that BET, their awards were coming up. And I don't blame Jay-Z and Beyonce and some of those A-list celebrities who did not go. I don't blame them, because if I was an A-list celebrity, I wouldn't have been there too, because in my opinion, it was a hot mess. Now, I do appreciate that they gave Busta Rhymes his flowers. I do appreciate, I'm a huge Busta Rhymes fan. I was a huge Leaders of a New School fan. When they kicked Busta out of the group and he went solo and he dropped Woo-Ha, I was all over it. Like, I've always been, a huge Busta Rhymes fan, because I felt like he brought that Caribbean and, that Jamaican vibe. Like, you see all of that infused, in his music. So you see his Brooklyn swag and his Jamaican swag. And so Busta was just different, his flow, his cadence, like his cadence was just,
Busta's a master of his craft.
You know what I mean? And so in his performances, Busta always gives you all of himself. When he out there, Buster gives you a performance, and I'm telling you, so I was so happy because I felt like, you know, him being recognized as a legend in this game is long overdue. I watched them honor people that, Bob, I'm sitting there like, dang, you honored this person and you ain't get bust yet. You ain't get Buster Bust yet. You know, and so Buster, you know, he started crying on stage. It was very emotional. I love how he brought up his babies, you know, because he was like, look, I got 6 children. One of the little ones were at home, but the other 5 came out to support him. So he was just saying that, you know, he was emotional, and he was just saying the best feeling was to be on stage, you know, with all of his children being there, minus the little one who was at home. But, you know, it was just amazing seeing him. Patti LaBelle butchered the tribute to Tina Turner. Okay, Patti came out there, Baba, and at first I looked, I said, Patti looks good.
I heard about it, but I didn't see it.
Look, Baba, I said, Patti looks good, right?
Yeah.
And then I took a closer look. Everything was like this, family. Everything was like that. Patti was like that. Patti got a facelift.
Got some work done.
She then got some cheeks. Patti then got some cheeks done, because Patti don't look like no 81-year-old, 80-something year old. So Patti got some work done, and she kept forgetting the word. So she was screaming, ah! And then she would say, come on, put your hands together, come on, because she kept forgetting the lines. So I put on Twitter, I said, Patti butchered the Tina Turner tribute, and I was like, damn,
Patti probably didn't rock with Tina like that.
Patti ain't there. And she, you know, she explained later on that she explained later on, family, that her teleprompter wasn't working, she said. And she said that's why she forgot it. But she started screaming, ah! And then she said, come on, put your hands together. So she forgot a lot.
Patti LaBelle walk around remembering Tina Turner lyrics. Fix the teleprompter. I'm Team Patti. Fix the teleprompter.
Patti butchered that thing, baby. But, you know, anyway, and in my mind, I was thinking, like, you know, I think Fantasia would have done well. You know, Fantasia would have just transitioned, right? Not transition. She would have transformed. I'm sorry. She'd have transformed into Tina and got out there, kicked her little shoes off. Because you know how Fantasia, she kicked her shoes off and she transforms into the person, you know, and then she just start going ham. I loved her tribute to Aretha Franklin. In fact, I played that maybe a few weeks back. But Patti butchered that. Buster got his flowers, and then they had different performances, like old school mixed in with the new school. And so it's like when the old school came out, Bob, and I guess I'm just team old school. The old school came out, I'm like, ah. And then it was mixed in with the new school, and primarily a lot of new school female rappers. And what I did not like is that every female rapper's set was the same. A bunch of females on stage twerking and promoting strip club culture, right? Like I just felt like I was at a strip club. You see what I'm saying? Like it was, you know, get that nigga, at that nigga, fuck the, and I'm a bad B, shake my booty, like, you know. And I'm not saying Baba. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, Baba, that, you know, sometimes I'm in, you feel what I'm saying, Baba? Like, you know, like I am, but where's the balance? That's where I was at. Like, all right, you brought on that. Now bring out Rhapsody, right? That female, she reminds me of Lauryn Hill. And
they was introducing that genre as the new face of hip hop.
Baba, I ain't finished my thought, Baba. Let me finish my thought, Baba. So what I'm saying is, where's the balance? So if they would have brought out Florilla, which they did, you know, Florilla, bring out Rhapsody right after that. Or if you bring out Young M.A., Young Miami, and some of these other new then bring out, it's a few other females that are straight like hip hop. I'm talking about hip hop. They don't take their clothes off. They come up there. They're strictly about the lyrics. You understand? And so bring out where was the balance? I didn't see any balance. And I think that's what got to me. Every female rapper looked the same, right? They had a BBL, the fake hair, fake eyelashes, and they twerked, right? And they sung about the same thing. I'm a bad B. You know, I used to strip, and now I got the bag. And look at my shoes, look at my hair, look at my BBL, look at my fake everything, and I'm gonna get these niggas for their money. And it was all of that. And so I think, Baba, that I would have been cool if we would have seen more of a balance, right? Because I don't want to come off as a hater. I'm not hating on the young generation, because I know what I listen to sometimes, and I know what I used to listen to back in the day. I'm not hating on them. You get what I'm saying, Baba? The new school going to do their thing, because all they are is they're our descendants, right? So they're just a variant, an offshoot of us and what we were already doing. And so I don't want to knock the new generation. What I want to see in this generation is more of a balance. Go ahead, Baba. I just wanted to get that out.
No, I'm feeling you. But you know, as someone that's in hip hop, as an artist and as an activist, you know, one of the things we understand is that what you're watching at the BET Awards is corporate hip hop. You know, that is this corporate. This was moving units, was moving views, was moving clicks, and they're controlling that narrative. This is capitalism. Capitalism is copycat culture. You had one of the biggest female rap songs of all time, WAP, to come out about a year and a half ago with Cardi and Meg, and everyone's been trying to create a new one ever since. That's the nature of capitalism. We don't want anything new. We just want to copy what's working financially. Right. And so you're not going to see that balance. You're going to see a product being sold on stage. And that's what you watch. That's what you watch, no matter how degrading it is. That's what you're watching. But hip hop didn't put that show on. BET did. That wasn't hip hop's show. That's BET's show. That's the corporate show. And the people who make those decisions are not hip hop activists. They're not hip hop artists. They're corporate people that's looking at the bottom line and the bottom line only. We got a genre of black music that ain't teaching them nothing. So it's not going to harm anything politically. It's not going to threaten anything culturally, but it's going to make us money. And we can recycle these artists in and out of here. One here today, gone tomorrow, and we're going to own their intellectual property, their image, and their likeness. Because corporate music is an intellectual property business. It's not a music business. It's an intellectual property business. And that's what that's all about. We want balance, but we're not being catered to. They ain't thinking about the community and the ramifications. They only thinking about the bottom line. And the young people that are out here, most of them who do that don't live that. Just like it was with gangster rap and all the gangsters getting signed. Okay, well, I guess I'm gangster now. I rapped about Mickey Mouse last week. I'm gonna rap about a drive-by this week. Well, a lot of the sisters that are doing that kind of rap don't live that life. I've seen, if those who find, some of y'all can attest, you've seen female rappers that used to have clothes on that don't have clothes on now because they're trying to stay in the game, because they're trying to stay relevant in that corporate machine. And that's what we're looking at, right? It's exploitation, but it's exploitation. If I'm going to exploit you for 100 mil and I give you 10 mil, you're not going to feel exploited. You got $10 million. But I ain't giving you enough to give you power. I'm giving you enough to make you feel like you made it, and enough to make other po kids look at you and say, ooh, I'm going to do that too. You know how many artists I talk to and I say, man, you know, rap something real, man. They don't want to hear that. This is what they want to hear. They want to hear this murder. They want to hear this. I know I'm not that, but this is what they want to hear. But they think the they is us. The they is them. The they that want to hear it are the corporations. The they that want to hear it are the ones pushing the algorithm, getting that bottom line, making that money. We just want to hear something that feel good and sound good. We want to see each other successful. And now we paint ourselves in this corner because you don't know whether to clap or be mad. I hate the message, but I love that you're successful.
Come on.
I'm not down the message, but I love that I see young people doing their thing and doing business and that sort of thing, right? It's just a lot of times, by the time a lot of them learn, Dr. Maat, damage is done.
Damage, yeah.
And then when they try to get independent and control their narrative, the same corporate machine that said we're family now, they drop them. Oh, you're not gonna wake up. That's not gonna happen. I mean, you can wake up, but you ain't gonna wake up and live in this house. You ain't gonna wake up and get this type of push, that type of marketing. Oh no, you're not gonna do that. You're gonna keep bringing that gangster stuff that you've been bringing.
You know, Lupe Fiasco came out and he was saying that there was an album that he put out, that he created, and they refused to distribute it because, you know, I'm going to say allegedly, I'm just because this is from his perspective, right? But his label refused to distribute it because they told him it was too positive, and they didn't feel like, you know, people wouldn't want it, you know, and would listen to it or buy it. And so they refused to release it. And And so he talked about that. He came out and made a statement about this. And this was some years ago, Baba, because everyone was saying, well, dang, what happened to Lupe Fiasco? He hasn't dropped anything new. And he came out and he was like, yeah, well, I created an album, and the label said they didn't want to release it because it was too positive. So Baba, I appreciate how you brought to our attention, it brought to this discussion that the they is them, is not us, because they say, oh, black people want to hear it. No, it's them. They did this. And BET is not owned by us, it's owned by Viacom. I heard that it was a bidding war out for it right now.
Yeah, they say Tyler Perry about to get it.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Tyler Perry about to get it. And so he's trying to get it, but it's a bidding war for BET right now. But like you said, as it stands, BET is owned by them, And so again, they, like you said, hip hop didn't put that on, because if hip hop put that on, it would have been completely different, So they put that on,
Right. It'd be completely different. There'll be new opportunities. There'll be more balance. If hip hop artists and people who really love hip hop culture were in a position to make those type of decisions, you'd see more balance. And if people could be programmed to look at something else, to learn how not to look at something. I remember, man, Dr. Kingdom had to convince people to not ride the bus.
Yeah,
and that was a big sacrifice.
Talk about it, Baba.
Convince somebody to not ride the bus because we want equality. Our tax dollars is going to that. We want equality. Don't ride the bus. Walk to work. Carpool. We're gonna do what we got to do. They created other transportation businesses and things like to make sure that black people got to work. We're trying to just convince people, don't click. Don't click on it. Don't look at it. You ain't got to go nowhere. All you got to do is not click. If it don't get no traction, and click on the stuff that we want to hear. Click on this, support this. When we try to build other platforms, I've seen black folks build Facebooks that look just like Facebook. They just call it Macebook or Placebook or something like that and say, let's switch.
No,
we won't switch.
We won't switch.
We won't switch. I've seen alternatives to YouTube. We're going to bring more balance. We won't switch. It's hard to get us to switch, but we won't switch our outward behavior until we switch our inner behavior.
Come on, say that one more time, Baba.
We won't switch our outward behavior until we switch our inward behavior.
Ashe. That's what I've been telling folks. That's the battle right there. The internal battle. We gotta deal with the internal battle first.
Education.
Come on. Speaking of education, Baba, let me stop sharing and let's talk about this really quickly, and then we'll move forward. We'll close out. So let me see. This is speaking of education, Baba, great segue.
I say UACI Summer STEM Camp 2023, co-hosted by the Uhuru Academy, and Uhuru Academy Online is now enrolling, by the way, and Conscious Ingenuity, the most powerful camp of the summer, combining the glory of our past with the promise of our future. The only camp you're going to find where young people are going to log in the morning and learn about the African history in STEM. In science, technology, engineering, and math, how our ancestors used science to populate the world. You know what I'm talking about? All right. And then in the afternoon, they're going to be learning about the STEM careers of the future, right? Week one, we're going to focus on cyber security. Y'all know the government gets hacked almost every day.
Come on, Baba.
Security ain't going nowhere. Okay. No. Cybersecurity ain't going nowhere, all right? And it's wide open. I know black people in cybersecurity, and you do too, Dr. Maat. And what they tell us all the time, I have to give away work. I have to turn work down.
Yeah.
Because there's so much work out here, right? So cybersecurity is week one at the UACI STEM camp, right? Being taught by actual engineers, right? Being co-sponsored by an actual cybersecurity program that prepares students, that turns out students with PhDs in cybersecurity. Okay, so this is like what a basketball player would call it, the Nike camp. You know what I'm saying? All right. So cybersecurity week one with the great conscious ingenuity program leading the way. And then week two, focusing on building neural networks, machine learning, what we call AI. Right. So our babies are going to be using their NI to learn about AI. NI is natural intelligence. All right. To learn about artificial intelligence, because you can't have AI without NI.
Come on.
All right. And so July 10th to July 21st. Okay. A half day. I think they're going 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. A good half day of learning. Interactive. Is fun. Nothing pre-recorded. All live. All right. We're going to be sending STEM kits out to every family. Yeah, you're going to get a shipment. It's going to have a camp t-shirt, but it's also going to have their UACI microbit computer. It's going to have their Google Chromebook that they get to keep. Right. And so they're going to have the equipment that they need to engage in the projects, the hands-on projects that they're going to be experiencing in the camp. In the Black History curriculum, I'm talking call and response. I'm talking games. I'm talking them using memorization and learning about the African fathers and mothers of civilization like Imhotep. I'm talking about how STEM was used to resist slavery. How science, technology, engineering, and math was used as a revolutionary tool in Haiti, right? We're going to talk about some of those great inventors.
You talking about my study cases, Baba. You talking about my study. I say you talking about my study cases.
Down. Oh
my study
man,
cases.
Look, we understand how great the STEM curriculum is, right? In the afternoon. So that Black History curriculum got to be on point. Right. And so this is going to be a powerful camp. And most importantly, y'all, once Uhuru Academy, always Uhuru Academy. Once conscious ingenuity, always conscious ingenuity. That means when your babies graduate this camp, my network is their network. Dr.maat's network is their network. So as they grow, and we got some teenagers coming, get your teenagers in this camp. It's from ages 8 to 16. Get your teenagers in this camp that's get ready to graduate high school, that's looking for a college to go to, or looking for a certification to earn. Get them in this camp so we can introduce them and they can meet people who are actually in the field that they're going into. I can't stress the value of this camp enough. Right? So go to uhuruacademy.com. Right. And sign your babies up. And if you don't have a baby to sign up, sponsor another baby. If you got a business, you growing your business and you believe in giving Black to the community, help us introduce STEM to our children. Help us engage our children in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. An excellent way to give back. And boy, that make your brand look so good. Yes, we actually sponsored a STEM camp this summer.
Come on,
Baba. Well, if you sell a cupcake, somebody will buy an extra cupcake just because you did that. Black folks support Black businesses that support Black people. I believe in that, y'all. So to my Black business community out there, an excellent, and I'll put the sponsorship link in the chat as well. An excellent opportunity to put your brand with a movement that's getting our babies ready for the future. This is Black Power.
Black Power. And what I say, Bob, ain't no Black power without steam power.
None.
Ain't no Black power without steam power. So you all can sit here all day and talk about nation building and talk about liberation and sovereignty, but you're not doing that without science, technology, engineering, art, agriculture, and mathematics. You just ain't doing it. Okay. It ain't happening. All right. And so anyway, family, the link is in the chat. Make sure that you click the link. Baba made it really easy. Some of the moderators, they threw the link in the chat. Just click on the link and just click on the link, family, and enroll today. We're not accepting anyone after Tuesday. I said Monday initially, Tuesday at the latest, because on Wednesday we're shipping out supplies. Okay. So yeah, so we're not after Tuesday, it's a wrap. So let's make sure, and we only have 6 or 7 slots left. There's going to be a total of 30 students who are participating. And someone pulled me up when I was in New York at the science fair. It's a sister, and shout out to that sister, Bob. I need to cash app you. Yes, I need to cash app you. The sister, no, it was an elder. I need to send you the money that she sent me to help sponsor another person. And shout out to Vicky Dillard. Vicky Dillard did. She sponsored. She wants to sponsor a child, and she sent us some money to sponsor a child. And so anyway, the sister, the elder, asked me. She said, "Well, why do you all is virtual? So why not fill it up? It should be." And I said, "No. As Baba and now, quality over quantity, right? So 30 kids are on, and I told her that's a lot of children to have online at one time." And so I said, it's 30 children. And guess how many instructors we're going to have, family? We're going to have 5 instructors. So that's really like a 6-to-1, ratio Bible, which is excellent because that gives our children, an intimate experience. It's not like they're in this big space and we're telling them what to do. It's more intimate when you have less, so the ratio is 1-6 family. 1 instructor to 6 children. 5 instructors are going to be on. Myself, Baba, Sean Gales, and 2 students from Morgan State. 5 instructors will be engaging with your children. And so we didn't want to have 100 children online and it's 5 instructors. So now the ratio is about 20-1. Which is ridiculous, right? So family, again, make sure that you sign up, but also family, make sure you get your children out of the food system. I'm a huge advocate of African-centered education. I always talk about the Uhuru Academy. Get your child out of the public food system and get them into African-centered Educational Institute. Jalen goes there, and you all have seen Jalen. Jalen's there. He loves it. He doesn't want to go back to regular school. He loves waking up and seeing Baba Amin every day, and seeing Mama and Koyo every day. He loves seeing them every day. He's enjoying his experience. And so family, please, I'm practicing what I preach. Trust me. Get your child out of the food system and let's get them enrolled in the Uhuru Academy ASAP. ASAP. Baba, did you want to say something else?
You said it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all make sure you go to consciousingenuity.com as well. And I want to salute you, Dr. Maat, because you're running like what, 6 camps this summer?
6 camps this summer. Yeah, 6 camps.
Right. And I want to salute you because I'm looking and you in a different classroom every week, putting our babies in front of that computer. You know what I'm saying? And what I love about it is because there are other STEM camps out there. But what I love about your approach is that you're developing engineers who have the mindset of being innovators with technology in ways that don't damage the environment and in ways that empower our community. And that's a huge difference. Right. In giving them an empowered attitude. They're not coming out saying, ooh, hopefully Microsoft will hire me.
Come on, Baba. Come on.
They're not coming out saying it. They're coming out saying, you know what? I might work with Microsoft so I can get a little money to invest in this idea that I have going on over here. Or maybe I'm going to start my own company. Or if someone does hire me, I'm going to show them how to improve what they do and stop exploiting the environment.
Come on, Baba.
That's a huge difference. There's a huge difference because we celebrate our people when we become engineers and all that. They made it out. They made it out. And they never come back.
They never come back, Baba.
They never come back. But if they come through you,
they coming back. That's a constant conversation that I have in my classrooms. What it means to be a Black, I say Black because some of them when you say African, I'm African. So what does it mean to be a Black engineer? And it doesn't mean getting your 6-figure salary and moving out to the suburbs and living happily ever after. It means solving problems in our community using science, technology, engineering, and math. That's what that means. And moving us towards liberation and sovereignty. That's what it means to be a Black engineer. And so that's the conversations we have. So like you said, they come through me, even if they choose to do something different, Baba, at least they know that the seed was planted. The seed was put in them for them to use their skills and their abilities and their talents to come back and solve our problems. The seed was put there. If they come through me, you know what I mean? And so, Baba, I appreciate that you even noticed that. Well, you notice everything, Baba. You're very observant. You notice everything. But I do appreciate that you even noticed that that's what I do, and my approach to teaching STEM is African-centered, So those two things is African-centered. And so anyway, Baba, I just appreciate that you saying, okay, I know. And you ain't lying, Baba. I do. You're going to see some more classrooms after the end of this week because I got 3 more of them. I'll be in the virtual classroom. So it's going to be bananas the next couple of weeks. And then I'm going to be outside with the fellas. They're going to kick me out. They're going to kick me out after the first day. The men kicked me out of the SAFO training camp. I felt so bad that
in the SAFO go.
They told me go. I showed up, Bob. I had on my red t-shirt the first day, and I showed up at the orientation to talk about the SAFO training camp. And after I introduced who I was, the men just looked at me and they were like, and I was like, dang, like I want to play too. Like I want to play. They was like, we got it, we good. So I left.
You got to go too.
They said you got to go. We had to go. So only the fathers of the young boys, they got to stay, and the Babas did, and it was a beautiful camp. I didn't see the young boys again until graduation, which was the following Saturday. I saw them and I got up and spoke to them, and I really appreciated the work that Baba Imhotep and the brothers of PLM. Shout out to Baba Adisa and Baba Amoru. They did a phenomenal job with our young boys in the Asafo training camp. And so anyway, Baba, I do want to say this. I want to plug this one more time for Jaleel. And when I say I carry this young man in my heart every day, I carry this young man in my heart every day. I carry him in my spirit every day. I try not to call his mother. And matter of fact, when he was first, gunned down or murdered, I couldn't even talk to her, Baba. Like I had to talk to his dad. And I would get reports, of course, updates, I talked to his dad, how his mom doing. It just because I couldn't hear her voice, I couldn't, Baba. I mean, I felt like if I was distraught, right? If I was distraught and I didn't birth him and raise him, right? If I was distraught, I could only imagine how she felt and how she still feels. And so I couldn't even hear her voice. It took me a long time to say, hey, what's your number, and start communicating with her, because what I didn't want to do, Baba, is start projecting on her. I'm crying, she crying, and then we all crying. So I didn't want to do that. And so for a while, I would just keep tabs on, her and the family through his dad. And, he would keep me updated and stuff like that. And so, she did say it's a couple of things that she's looking into doing. She said she looks forward to the day where she could read her, her impact statement, in court. She also, she's like, I don't want my son's name to ever die. She's like, I want people to always to remember my son. And so she mentioned starting a scholarship fund in his name. And so that's what we intend to do. And even with Conscious Ingenuity, I give my instructors, I don't know, Bob, if you peep this, at the end of each year, I award an instructor with the Outstanding Instructor Award. And so now I'm renaming that the Jaleel Rashard George Award for Outstanding Instruction. So now our award in this program will be named after him, who also have a scholarship fund named after him. And that scholarship fund will be given to, young kids who want to pursue a career in entrepreneurship and STEM, because that's what he was about, engineering and entrepreneurship. And so if you want to go engineering or you want to do entrepreneurship, we're in the process of talking about that. But family, let's bring him let's get Jaleel George justice. Our family is offering a $27,000 reward, for any information that leads to the arrest of the people who took his life. He was 24 years old, Baba. And, I just can't imagine, that happening to someone in my family, and even that happened to myself. Like at 24, your life is cut, right? Your life is cut. And again, guys, this was tragic. The family, they're still going through, every time I reach out to the family, like the dad and the mom, they say, we're doing each day, we're getting stronger, and we're doing, so they're doing, the best that they can. But family, let's bring, make sure that we get him some justice. Let's get him some justice. And I'm going to drop the link to this in the chat. So, and I'm pretty sure in this article, if they'll say call such and such, such and such, if you have any information. So let's make sure that we get some justice for Jaleel George. And so, Baba, that's it for me. Do you have any closing words for the listening audience?
Just words of appreciation. We appreciate y'all taking out your time on this Sunday. I pray that the content that we created today, the conversation, the dialogue that we've created today has sparked some minds into action. Peace and power.
Peace and power. Thank you so much, Baba, for your time, your energy. I love building with you. I love always hearing your perspective, Baba. And Baba, let's, we can go live again on, July the 4th. We can go, live on. Yeah, we can go live on. Yeah,
July. I love to talk. I love to talk noise on the 4th of July.
Yeah, so we can go live, on the 4th of July and promote the camp again, or even go live tomorrow and promote the camp. I just want to keep on promoting, so folks won't say that. Look, Baba. So folks won't say I didn't know. Right. Like though you knew, Baba and Dr. Maat was going live for 2-3 times a week. They were going live, so you knew. And so anyway, Baba, I always give thanks for your time, your energy, and your wisdom, because I know you got a whole family down there. You got a whole family, wife and family, and take time away, you know, from the wifey and the kids. And so I just always appreciate when you come on. Family, I'm going to close out with this song by Fertile Ground called Seasons Change. And I love it. She's saying, you know, seasons change. You know, this is, you know, this is only for a season, you know, that we're going through this. And so anyway, I thought that it was fitting, especially when we think about the concept of Sankofa, right? You want to go back and fetch and get what was rightfully ours and recreate that reality, even a better reality, right? That our ancestors experienced. And so we want to get back. We want to Sankofa. And so I'm a firm believer that, you know, we're only in this season is only for a moment. It's only for a moment. Things will change. Things will get better. Thank you for tuning in, family. Make sure before you leave that you thumb up the video. Also, family, share the video on all of your social media platforms, and also share this link. Text it out to your family. Text it out to your friends. And lastly, family, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell so that whenever I go live, you are notified. Also, family, if you want to check out Baba Amin, check out Baba Amin on his channel, the Uhuru Academy. The Uhuru Academy, he has a podcast. Make sure that you hit on over there, family. Subscribe to his YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so whenever he goes live, you know, you get notified. And trust me, Bob and I, we don't go live 50 million times like some other folks on YouTube, right? So you don't have to, like some channels, Baba, I had to unsubscribe to because I was getting like Roland Martin. I had to unsubscribe. I was getting like 20 notifications every day. And so I end up unsubscribing from his channel. So we're not like that. He and I may go live, you know, 1 to 3 times a week, if that, on our channels. Okay. So make sure, family, that you subscribe. Fan of the Art said, can we pull up? Pull up where, Fan of the Art? Tell me what you mean by can you pull up? Where do you want to pull up, Fan of the Art?
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, what?
Yeah, what are you talking about? I think Fan of the Art want to pull up on the live. You talking about the live, Fan of the Art? Baba, make sure you check the back chat. I left you something in the private chat. Said, Baba, boy, don't tell anybody, Baba. I getting ready to put some paper. We getting ready to put some papers out, Baba. You know what I mean? Okay, you said that. All right. I'm about to say, Baba, don't say that. We get ready to publish some papers on that. You know what I mean? And then somebody gonna be like, "What? Okay, let me take that." So I said, Baba, don't say that, Baba. Don't spill it out.
No, I ain't said nothing. Fan
of the Art, come on. What are you talking about? Type in and tell us what you're talking about. Shout out to Dr. Craig Samuels in the building. I see you, Doc. Shout out to A Beautiful Mind, and I want to go back to Dr. Samuels. Dr. Samuels, I do need to reach out to you because you know what he said to me, Baba, and I need to call him. He reached out to me, and he, you know, he's very observant. I'll say that first and foremost. He supports the work that we're all doing. And he let me know, he sent me a beautiful email, you know, basically telling me that he sees me. And he called it the recipe of Deanna. And he talked about all of the different ancestors. Baba, I mean, like when I say that I've read his message like maybe 5 times and cried. Like I just cried. I thought about my father when I read it. And things my father said to me, and I, you know, expressed that to Dr. Samuels. But he was saying, let me give you the recipe of Deanna. He talked about all of the different ancestors he said that he sees in me. And it was very affirming. His message was very affirming, and very inspiring. And then he said, look, and we want to support you. Call us. We want to send you some money. So he wants to support with his resources. So I need to reach out to him because maybe some of the resources that he supports us with, Bob, that'll be the Uhuru Academy. You know what I mean? So I definitely need to reach out to the Samuels. They support the work. And I wanted to take time out to let him know and let his wife know that I support, that I appreciate, we appreciate you. Fan of the Art said, on the live, he said, but he'll pull up the next time. All right, family. Peace and power. Here we go, Baba.
Peace.
All she had was pain inside her eyes. He had come and gone away and left the love to yesterday. Now her only joy's the tears she cried. She said, where did I go wrong? And how can I go on? Say, where did I go wrong? And how can I go on? fell ill, the doctor took too long to make it right. He lost his job and all he owned, his car, his house, his precious throne, all his status symbols of his life. He said, where did